Welcome to episode 6 of The Plan with me, Sean, and when he gets here, him, Dan. Today's subject matter is working for yourself. Is it worth it? What are the pros? What are the cons? Have we done it? Do we do it? Do we like it? We're going to go through the whole thing, plus all the usual subjects. So stick around. Got to be said, it's a beautiful day. I love days like this. Bright sunshine, crisp sort of frost, freezing cold but sunny, clear blue sky, gorgeous day. So here we are again in a pub in Hitchin, where I used to come in this pub like 25 years ago when it was just on the route when you're out and you're young. This was one of the pubs you would visit. I don't know if it's still that kind of thing. I think it probably is.
He was actually slagging it off. We've just had the most delicious breakfast back.
The food was pretty good, yeah, and the coffee's good. So yeah, no complaints really. Anyway. The topic of discussion this week is working for yourself.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yes.
Hi, Dan Peters Window Cleaning Services.
You'd make a good window cleaner.
Not tall enough.
No, you're not. But you could do all the low down ones. In fact, together, I could do the high up ones, you could do the basement. That's a good business.
Yeah, I think, we're there. I could do all the low down, yeah. Anyway, working for yourself.
Yeah.
Which we've both done.
We've both done, yeah. What have been the high points of working for yourself? Have there been any?
Well, I've always had work for myself alongside, or at least for the last decade or so, worked for myself alongside having a PAYE job.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So all of the benefits of working for yourself, I haven't had because I've been working as well.
Yeah, that taints it a little bit.
Although I was thinking that the benefits of working for yourself is get it when you want, but of course those aren't, are they? Because when you work for yourself, you've got to work harder because every moment that you're not working, you're not earning.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different versions of it. I've mostly worked for myself. I've had very few jobs. I've been pretty much working for myself since 17. And there's been times when it's been slightly different. So like when you're freelancing, I was a freelancer for a long, long time. And as long as you've got enough work in the diary that you can pay your bills, the rest of your time, you can, be a bit more relaxed about life and get up when you want and all the rest of it. As long as there's enough work happening, then the rest of your time can be your own and kind of, there's no need to go and chase more work. Other people do, and you can be as busy as you like. But quite often, I mean, like in the audio industry that we've been working in, once you're working for somebody doing something on a freelance basis, there's not always loads of room to fit other clients in.
No.
You kind of need one regular client.
Yeah, if you're on tour.
Yeah, if you're going on tour with someone, you're not available to work with someone
albums,
else.
Yeah.
I mean, I did for a few years, I did balance it. I kind of had 3 clients who I was balancing, trying to tour with all 3 of them. And being as underhand as I sort of could to sneak in, what you should do is tour at this time of year, because my other artist is touring at that time of year, and try and keep them all working at the same, at different times so you can work for everyone.
Whereas now you manage somebody else, it's completely annoying when people try and do that with you.
100%. Bane of my life. Crew not being available because they're touring with other people. Yeah, that's difficult. But yeah, I think that is a different thing from running a business as such. Being a freelancer is slightly different. When you actually run a business like I do now, that you kind of need as many hours in the day as you can get, certainly at the beginning, to get it off the ground. Building a business is hard work. I think a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking exactly that. I can get up when I want, my day's my own. You get there eventually. You get to the point where you can pick and choose your hours, and that is a big advantage. But it's a bit of a slog to get there sometimes. You need to have enough regular work coming in to give you that flexibility.
I've got an interesting issue at the moment. Like, my dad's my boss. I'm in the family business now. Yeah, so I don't know, it's almost more responsibility because your dad will tell you off.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
I never worked with my family as such, apart from my son did work for me for 2 years. His first job was working for me, which I'm sure he found that just as annoying as you do at times.
yeah. I don't work for you.
No, that's true. But you know what I mean.
I do. Yeah, I guess the worst part for me of the working for yourself stuff is again, we've been through this in prior videos, the financial side.
Yeah.
You know, you take home however much it is that you get paid on a day.
Yeah.
And of course, only a small amount of that is actually yours to spend. You have to save.
Yeah.
For tax and pensions.
I'm well
national
aware.
insurance.
I have a lot of friends who work for themselves. Most of the people I employ on a sort of freelance basis, they're all working for themselves. A lot of them are not very good at that, balancing the money, making sure they're putting aside their tax money, making sure they're paying their tax and all the rest of it. I was bad at it 20 years ago. I've learnt my lesson, and I'm very strict with myself now, and I don't get into trouble because it's just too hard to get out of. There's nothing worse than having a tax bill you can't pay, and then another one coming.
Yeah,
that's a nightmare. And yeah, you've just got to keep on top of that stuff. That's a difficult thing. I think until you get to a certain stage, you're doing your own accounts and your books and balancing all that stuff. And maybe the reason you started a business is because you really want to do that thing. You don't really want to be an accountant. You don't really want to become good with money. You just want to work for yourself.
A lot of people that I know that have started businesses, whether they've been tradespeople or people that have worked in the music business, they've always, once they've built a business because they've had some success, they've started off as a sole trader, had some success, and it's sort of grown. But one thing they always say is what you end up doing is managing people and running a business rather than doing the thing that you love that started you off doing it in the first place anyway.
I think a lot of the time if you're successful, that just happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You end up doing exactly that. You have to step away from doing the thing you like doing and pay other people to do it for you because you're busy running the business. Or you purposely sort of cap your expansion at the point just below that.
I've got a mate who is bars. He's always run bars and stuff, and it used to be great for having a bar when you were in your 20s, and all the things that come along with running a bar. But of course, now he's in his mid to late 30s.
Yep.
When the doorman doesn't show up on a Friday night, you get a phone call from the bar manager. He has to go stand and work on the door. He's, you've got your tea on, the telly's on.
You've got to go and be a bouncer.
You've got to go and be a bouncer for, till the middle of the night, dealing with drunken dickheads. People that you pay the minimum wage don't turn up for work to do a bar shift. So all of a sudden on a Saturday night, when you're due to go to the pictures with your missus or whatever it is you do on a Saturday night in your late 30s, you've got to go and work behind the bar.
Yeah. They're the downsides, aren't they? There's a lot of responsibility. There's also the responsibility you have if you have staff or people that you're paying on a regular basis, whether they're freelancers or whether they're employees. You become responsible for their income.
Yeah.
And that could be, paying their bills, looking after their kids, or whatever it is they need their money for. You're suddenly responsible for other people.
Yeah.
That's sometimes a bit stressful, and you're sometimes not prepared for that when you start a business.
I guess that's the difference, running a business and working for yourself.
Yeah.
I've never run a business, I don't think.
No, I've never run one that's had huge amounts of people relying on me directly. I mean, I guess I do a bit at the moment. It's slightly different, but...
Well, you know what they say, don't you? Never work with animals or musicians.
Very good advice. Very good advice. Yeah.
Because you have to manage a bunch of musicians.
Yeah. Herding cats.
Yeah.
That's how we refer to it. They're God gives them one thing, talent, and takes away common sense. And just tell a bunch of musicians to meet you in an airport at a certain time for a flight, and just see how that turns out for you. They just scatter. The crew will go to the pub. Female members will go to the shops. The nerdy ones will go to Dixon's.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you have to round them up and get them on the plane. It's quite a mission sometimes.
Is there still such a place as Dixon's?
I think in airports there's something like it. It's probably changed its name. I don't know. It always used to be Dixon's, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what you need just as you're about to get on a flight. It's a new TV, or a camera. I mean, I suppose some people
Camera,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's all about what works for certain people. I know, like my brother, for example, has never worked for himself. He's always had really, really good jobs, and I think that's his comfort zone. He likes getting a salary. He likes having hours where he has to be somewhere and do something, and that's what he does, and that's what he likes. I've shied away from that my whole life because I like to decide what I do when I do it. I know I've got things to do every single week that must be done, but I'd like to choose what day I do them. And you know, do I have to be in the office at 9 today, or is 10 all right? You know, can I go and meet a mate for a coffee, or can I not? I like that.
There's that reason you've never worked.
Yep.
The other reason is your complete lack of qualifications.
That, I mean, that's definitely a factor.
Good sense, intelligence.
I
You're completely incapable of taking instruction from anyone.
I get the ump if people start telling me what to do. I've always known that. You know, from a kid, it's like I was the kid shouting, "I'm in charge," because I can't handle someone else being in charge of anything. It's why I've ended up being a manager. It's why I, you know, in any kind of dynamic, I always like to have a decision about what's happening.
Yes.
Because I get infuriated when I don't.
This is true, people. I can vouch for that.
But I think that's what naturally steers people towards having a business as opposed to having a job.
It's what naturally steers people away from you.
It is.
Yeah.
Some people find it unbearable. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're a certain person. You know, the other thing is, of course, you have to have a job. You have to earn money.
You do. You do.
Yeah.
But my brain also will not accept the thing that you have to remember when you've got a job, and it's not a bad thing as long as you're fine with it, but you will spend your career making someone else very rich, whoever owns the business you're working for, and you'll do all right, you'll earn a living and you'll pay your mortgage and your bills and everything else. But ultimately, they're getting generational wealth from the fact that you turn up and do your 8 hours every day. I'd rather do that for myself, whether it works or whether it doesn't.
I think that's the ethos, isn't
I
it?
feel way more comfortable that I'm the person that benefits from anything that goes well.
Yeah.
Whereas if I do something well for someone else, I don't really want someone else to get
Bit
the
of a
benefit.
control freak, aren't you? Really, can't?
You don't just notice. What do you mean? Yeah, of course I am. Massive control freak. It's necessary, I think, to run a business. You have to have that want to control things. That's how you make it all work.
Yeah.
I mean, I always feel sorry for people with regular jobs around the time of summer holidays because they start talking about, oh, you know, I've got this many days and I can take this and that, and then we can. And I just think, I plan my holiday and my work fits around that.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't used to do that because I was much more of a workaholic when I was younger. I think.
Yeah.
I used to skip holidays because I was busy working.
Yeah.
But now it's important to me.
Skip holidays because you had young children.
They were expensive, you know. But it was just more a case of I'm aware now that the downtime is way important. It's what keeps you going the rest of the year. Looking forward to the downtime, having that opportunity to unwind and stuff. It's important, isn't it?
Hiya.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome,
delicious.
yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.
Any more drinks at all?
I wouldn't want another cappuccino, if that's all right.
Cappuccino?
Nice
Thank
one.
you, sir.
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but I always think, you know, I struggle with that. Someone telling me that I could only have however many days off a year, you know.
Do you know what really gets... Because you have a flick through the odd job section, LinkedIn or whatever. It's when people advertise jobs and they don't put the salary.
You know, why wouldn't they? Why would you have any interest if you didn't
What
at least
is the
know what
most
you were gonna
important thing if you're looking for a job?
Yeah, how much they're going to give you.
Yeah. Whereas they write these adverts and they think the most important thing is obviously your commitment to our company and the commitment to your job. It's
Nope.
like, no.
Not for me, it's not.
Yeah, how much money can I take home at the end of the month?
Yeah.
It drives me insane, that.
Yeah, it's another big thing, isn't it? It's the job thing. You get things which you don't get when you're self-employed. You get a load of benefits quite often. You know, quite often these days you get some kind of medical benefits.
Yeah.
Sometimes a company car, I think that's died off a bit, but you get looked after. You know, they give you paid holiday and all the rest of it. Quite often you get a gym membership or something with some jobs these days. Yeah, you know, they look after you. You don't get any of that when you're working for yourself.
No.
But you can choose to do that with your own money because you will have more of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
just-
sure gym memberships are tax deductible as well, aren't they?
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it also means that you can go in the afternoons when it's quiet.
I remember when my studio was here, and I used to walk here. I'd take the kids to school. I'd then go to the gym, and then after the gym, I'd go to the studio. And I'd normally get to the gym sort of 9:30, 10 o'clock or whatever, and I'd do my workout, and then I'd go and sit in the jacuzzi for 20 minutes before I went to work. And the only people in the gym at that time were the real hardcore people who don't have a job because they're just working out, and old retired people.
Yeah.
And I always used to get chatting to the other old dudes, like these old granddads, who would absolutely rinse me, taking the piss, calling me unemployed. And, oh, the old unemployed geezer's here again. He's the only one that can be here at 10 o'clock. I'm like, no, I'm self-employed. He said, no, you're not. You ain't got a job.
There's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, freedom is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely.
And I remember I think it was the second studio job I had. I remember driving to the studio like 10 o'clock one morning, didn't have to be there till 10:30. The first session was like midday or something. And I just remember thinking, wow, imagine if I'd have got up and gone and sat in an office, 8 o'clock this morning. Whereas, a sunny day, I've got, my elbow out my Ford Capri or whatever it was I was driving at the time. I just felt like this is the life I need to have. I can't be doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But much respect to all those that do, because I understand the other side doesn't work for some people.
No. I think any job that starts before the pub opens is a no-go.
No go, just not having it.
Not having it, no.
Welcome back to the studio, episode 6, Stan.
Episode 6.
Which is
No, Fumph is 5.
Sex. Not today, thanks.
Not now. Yeah, I'm busy.
In French.
Cease.
There you go. We get there. We're so multilingual.
Yeah.
Your linguistics are very cunning.
Yeah, cunning linguist. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway. Welcome back to the studio. Today we were talking about working for yourself.
Yes.
And all the pros and cons. And probably the biggest pro, as far as I'm concerned, is this place.
Yeah.
This place was a bit of a dream, really. I mean, I've been lucky to have had loads of studios over the years, but to have one like this, which I know I can keep.
You built from the ground up.
Built from the ground up, yeah, and it's been perfect, hasn't it? It's been a good thing, which enables me to get on with my job without having to pay rent to someone else, which is nice. And
Very
we get to do
good.
fun stuff like this.
Yeah, we actually talked about this because we obviously talk about these subjects when we're not on camera, and we couldn't. I didn't feel that we came up with. I don't feel that there are major benefits nor shortfalls in working for yourself. Yeah, I think it comes very much down to the sort of job that you do.
Yeah.
I mean, other than your point of earning money, working for somebody means that most of the money goes in their pocket.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's a really big thing that doesn't cross a lot of people's minds. But yeah, if you work for even a medium-sized company or a small company, if you're one of 10 employees, your employer is getting significantly richer every year because of your hard work.
But the flip side of that is he's probably got the stress and
100%.
and if it all go,
doesn't come for free.
Yeah, and a lot of people that own businesses have to pay the employees before they even pay themselves.
Of course, yeah. I mean,
I've heard of people that pay their employees out of their own pocket when the business isn't doing so well.
Yeah, 100% that happens, yeah. I mean, I work in a business where I earn a percentage of what someone else earns. And that percentage is worked out by paying all the bills and everybody else first. And then what is left, I take my percentage and give the rest. And it's like, that's a juggle. You're constantly keeping an eye on the outgoings because if your percentage ends up being nothing...
Should have gone gross. Should have
gone gross, yeah. That would be nice. One day. Yeah. One day. But yeah, I couldn't do anything else but work for myself. That said, one day maybe I won't want the stress.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice little job, cosy job.
Like I said, I'm in the family business now.
Yeah.
And that's slightly different because you get the freedom. But again, it's like you were saying about the holidays per year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard to deal with when you've been used to doing what you want.
And on top of that, so if you're only allowed so many days holiday, you can only take your kids on holiday when they're out of school. Otherwise, the school will fine you.
Oh yeah, they go nuts these days. Yeah.
And as a result, hotels and airlines double their prices.
They do
in the school holidays.
Yeah, they stitch you right up. Yeah. I'm dealing with that at the moment.
You know what? That's just occurred to me. Is what you and I have never wanted is to be part of the part of the rat race, they call it, don't they? Or they used to call it.
Well, there's a very good quote.
I don't want to have to go on holiday when everybody else goes on holiday.
No, I don't. No. It's really busy and annoying. It's full of annoying people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a really good quote. Michael Franti, one of his lyrics was, "Only a rat can win a rat race." Profound.
Well.
And it rhymes.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Should we do some news?
Yeah.
Righty ho.
We're going to have to think some up now, aren't we? 'Cause
Well,
we smash it all on the last episode.
We've got to go back to Trump because he's,
Yeah.
he's busy making news. What do you think about him and his whole tariff thing that he's, throwing at Canada and Mexico, and they're kind of now saying, right, well, if you're going to hit us with 25% tariffs, we're going to do the same to you. It's like he's really trying to isolate America. But at the same time, I guess his long-term goal must be, let's get America making everything that we need here, so we don't have to import anything from anywhere else.
It seems very short-sighted to me.
It does, yeah.
Surely you would create some, I don't know, manufacturing or some, something for people. I don't know, you would, rather than putting up the tariffs, which is an offensive, negative action, you would do something positive to encourage people to manufacture in the States, rather than just trying to stop people, importing. It seems like a reaction rather than anything positive to me.
Well, he's not very good at big picture thinking. Much like last time when he was just banging on about the wall. Going to build a great wall, and everyone was
It'll be the greatest wall.
It'll be the greatest wall.
I'm the greatest wall builder.
Exactly. And then everyone's like, yeah, but, all we need to get round your wall is a ladder. Been around a few hundred years. That's not a big deal. If you build a bigger wall, we'll just get a bigger ladder or a helicopter. I mean, it's like he's not really thinking things through, is he?
No.
And I do wonder whether
he's not known for thinking, is he?
But is he aware of that? And he's just thinking, I'm just going to say a load of stuff to get a load of headlines, and it doesn't really matter whether it happens or not.
No, I think.
Or is he just a bit dumb?
I don't think he is dumb. I think he is. What's the word? I can't think of the word. But he's just, he thinks he does think he is the greatest, and he does think that these ideas will do what, that will have the outcome that he desires.
Wow.
That he plans.
So if you had to put money on it, is America going to be better off in 5 years or worse off?
Yeah, I think it'll be better off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. It might just work,
Yeah,
even
well,
though the rest of the world will think.
Yeah, well, I mean, the difference is a lot of people will get hurt, and the richer will get richer, basically.
Yeah.
But it'll piss a lot of people off, and that's not what that's I don't know. It's almost like a dictatorship, isn't it?
It's close, yeah. I mean, isn't he messing around already with the rules?
I would imagine so. I can't see him just doing 4 years.
No, I think he's already started changing things so that, I don't know if this is real, but I heard that he's changed the rules that you can serve more than one term. Obviously, you can serve, as an American president, you can serve 2 terms, and it doesn't matter whether they're concurrent or not. And he's changing the rules, apparently, that if you've already served 1 term and then there's been another president and then you get to serve your 2nd term, you can then serve another term because it's concurrent this time. It wasn't last time, therefore you can do another one. And it's like, hang on, isn't that changing the Constitution?
Just hope the fucker drops dead, really. I think that's all you can.
I mean, realistically, with
for.
the number of cheeseburgers he throws down himself, that's highly
He's
likely.
quite old, isn't he? 70.
I think he's the oldest president, isn't he, or something? I don't know.
Is he? No, he's not. It can't be as old as Biden. Wasn't Biden like 82?
I don't know.
He's the oldest current president.
He's also the youngest current president. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just the current president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's like car crash TV, isn't it?
Very
You're
much.
just drawn to. You just have to. I wake up in the morning, waiting for the next Trump story.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I don't live in America.
Yeah, I mean, how much of it, if you ignore politics, affects you? Probably it's going to start to, isn't it?
I'd imagine so. Yeah. If he starts messing around and China and Russia get the ump, and and relations break down with the transatlantic relations start to break down, I think it'll have a massive impact on a lot of the world. But I think you've also got to resign yourself to the fact that he's been voted into office, and what he's going to do, he will do. And
Yep.
I'll bury my head in the sand and try to ignore it as best I can.
See you in 5 years.
Yeah. Other than reading the news and thinking, bloody hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Madness. Right. Let's get away from Trump. Any other news we need to talk about?
No.
No. Move on. Something a bit lighter. TV.
No, I still haven't watched it.
You still haven't watched any. You watch a lot of reels and stuff.
I do. I watch. Yes, too much actually at the moment. I have to.
Too much doom scrolling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm really bad for it. Really bad for it.
What kind of stuff catches your eye and makes you hang around?
Oh,
before you...
I mean, my absolute favourites are Who Built the Pyramids, obviously.
The pyramids.
Yeah. All of that, lost civilizations.
Oh,
and,
I've seen that.
Yeah.
You believe that stuff?
No, I don't believe it. I just enjoy
You just
watching.
like watching
I
it.
enjoy watching 30-second reels on how giants move these 12-ton.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very bad,
Yeah.
but kind of funny.
Well, I mean, it is one of the pyramid thing is a great mystery, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some weird facts, isn't there, that the pyramids, when Cleopatra was alive, they'd been there longer at that point than the distance between her being alive and now.
And the iPhone, the
Yeah.
invention of the iPhone.
Yeah, that's a bit mad, isn't it?
Well, that's assuming they were built when they think they were built.
Yeah.
You know.
I presume with carbon dating and stuff, they must be able to tell something.
Well, no, because there's no carbon dating only works with things that are alive.
Things that are alive, that's true. I don't know. I don't know how they work that stuff out.
No, but I think it's interesting. The fact they're supposed to be tombs, and there's never been any kind of pharaoh or body or what they call them, mummies or found in them. No. And
I thought when they unearthed Tutankhamun in the 30s, they found him.
yeah, not in the pyramids.
No.
No,
Oh, all right.
no. And I'm talking the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah.
And but on all the rooms, the insides are all
Yep.
very small, aren't they? They've got really weird angled sort of.
Yeah.
So it's just why. Yeah, I think the question as to when they were built, why they were built, and how they were built.
Yeah.
You'd probably.
Turns out it was an over-engineered barbecue.
Yeah.
They really like their
something you're
charred
good
meat. Who knows, man?
So yeah, lots of stuff on the pyramids and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Well-
I'm crap at this. I'll have to start saying to people, I need to watch the telly.
You need to watch the telly. I
I'll have
need
a
to
day a
research
week.
it.
Yeah, I need to do some
Yeah.
research. We'll need to watch the telly.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be TV. It can be anything.
Can it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get your old DVDs out, your old VHS.
The old VDs.
old VHS. We don't want to talk about that.
I don't think I've got any old. I've got one old DVD, but
Yeah, you don't want to watch that. So there's two things I've watched this week, which
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed. One, Mad Men, again.
Mm.
Did you ever watch Mad Men when it was on? Mad Men was one of the, it's been a long time now, probably 10 years at least. One of the first big online sort of series, all about the advertising execs in the 60s in New York. And just about when that whole industry was taking off, and we were talking about Heinz earlier. It's that there's like the scene where they pitch to Heinz that you don't need to mention the brand. Everyone knows it so well,
Yeah.
And it's all about, there's this main character called Don Draper, who's like this genius advertising guy, comes up with these incredible sort of campaigns. But it's so stylized because it's the 60s. Everybody is chain smoking, like constantly smoking all the way through it. They're very, very sharp suits.
do you find that makes you want to smoke?
100% in the past, watching Mad Men was really difficult when you've given up smoking because, oh my God, that makes me want to have.
They look so cool.
They do look cool, yeah. Yeah, it definitely has been an issue in the past. But it's also the cars and the whole sort of environment around them just looks cool and really, exciting. So yeah, I've got back into that. I don't know why. I just saw it was on. It's come onto a new streaming service. Don't know which one it is. I'm like, Mad Men. I'm going to start watching that again.
I always find it difficult when things. Peaky Blinders is a classic one.
That's a great one.
Where they've all got there's just whiskey everywhere. What are the glass bottles, decanters of whiskey everywhere. They walk in, cigarette in the mouth, pour yourself a whiskey, and you're thinking, I could do a cigarette and a whiskey right now. It's Tuesday night and I'm already in bed, but
Yeah, they're bad at that, those kind of things.
people great glasses of wine sloshing around, and it's
Yep.
Anyway,
Well-
combination of
people drinking on the telly and Deliveroo is a difficult combination.
That is a difficult
You've
combination.
been really good.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
Well, the other thing I've been watching, which I always used to watch, and it's been a couple of years since I don't know why I haven't been watching it, but my girlfriend started watching it and said, "Oh, you like this," and I've got back into it. And it's Dragon's Den new series,
Yeah.
which is fascinating, and I kind of similar to Mad Men in a way, in that you're watching all these sort of business gurus tear apart people with what they think are great ideas.
Yeah. Thing is, I used to love that.
Yeah,
And I watched it with my dad once.
yeah,
And he went, "No, I just think the dragons are dickheads." And I was like,
Yeah.
"No, they're not." And then you watch it and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God." They just think that they are, if you met someone and they were like that, you'd be like,
yeah.
"God, mate,
Well, yeah,
I'm Peter Tallman."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And I've,
Peter Tallman.
whatever his name is,
Peter Jones.
Peter Jones, and I've got a haircut like that guy out of The In-Betweeners. And I play tennis and I'm brilliant at everything. And you just think, oh, oof. And Deborah Meaden, oh.
How she wound
Did
you
you
up.
ever see the Harry Enfield takeoff, the skit they did,
No.
where Harry and Paul go in and they say they're doing the pitch and they've got big sweat marks, like under their armpits, and they're saying they say we've come up with a new month. We're going to call it Octember. And but it comes to Deborah Meaden, I think it is, and Harry Enfield's playing her, and it's brutal. He's sort
Can
of doing
imagine.
this. Yeah. Have you thought about where you're going to put this month? Where are you going to put this month? And yeah, it's a really good sketch, actually.
I saw the time when People Just Do Nothing went on it,
Yeah.
which was genius. They went on it and said they wanted some money for their, I don't know if it was for the band or for the label, and I think they gave them a $5 to go away or something, and they were well chuffed. No, I find it fascinating. I mean, similarly, I do think the Dragons sometimes are dickheads and make some pretty terrible decisions. But I find some of the people going on there, the bit I like is where they're clearly winging it. They've tried this business, they know it's not working.
Yeah.
And they're in real trouble. It's like, either I get 50 grand and some exposure on TV or I'm stuffed. And they slowly but surely get found out. They go, right, what was your turnover the last year?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost $1 million.
Yeah, £4.50. Yeah. Yeah. I sold one bag of meatless dog treats.
There's loads of that.
Always fucking animal pet foods.
There's a
and that
lot
sort
of
stuff.
animal stuff on there. Yeah.
You remember Steve, my mate Steve, with the big blue bus?
Steve with the. You think I would remember Steve with the big
Maybe
blue
he didn't
bus?
have the big blue bus. Anyway, he got invited to go on Dragon's Den.
Doing what?
Well, he had a
He had a
several
big blue
Yeah,
bus.
he had the clothing label and he had
Yeah.
that big VIP bus.
Oh,
and,
him. I remember that. Yeah.
And
Didn't know he had a big blue bus.
yeah, he had a big blue bus
Okay.
with a king size bed, a shower, a jacuzzi, and it was open top. We used to go partying on it.
Big camper van.
No, but a blue double decker bus.
Oh, a bus
yeah.
bus.
Yeah, he wrapped it in blue sparkle.
Wow.
And the idea was it was going to be a promo bus, so you'd have it backstage at festivals. In fact, we
Okay.
did a few backstage stuff at festivals with it. But we also used to go and drive around Oxford. We'd pay a driver for the night, go and pick up girls.
I was going to say, I dread to think what happened on that bus. I don't know if you want to be talking about that in public.
No, probably not.
Dear,
Probably
oh
not.
dear.
But he got approached by Dragon's Den. Do you
Yeah.
want to come in and pitch? And he was like, "Dan, do you think I should go?" I was like, "No." No, why not? Do you want to be torn apart on national television?
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, what are your financials? I don't know. Box of fags and a bag of char.
Wow.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So,
I've never been tempted to go on it. I've seen 2 people I know go on it.
have you?
Yeah, and both times it's not ended well.
No.
But it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You'd have to really, really want to do it, wouldn't you? It's you're gonna get torn apart.
And the other thing is when the dragons are all so critical
Yeah.
until a good idea comes in, and then they're all like, you really are
I know.
charismatic and someone I'd like to work with. But then the pitchers,
Yep.
they try not to hurt the dragons' feelings. So
They
they get all
do,
these
yeah.
different offers,
Yeah.
and you think, "Fuck you, Deborah. I'm going with Peter Tool trousers over here."
It is interesting. There are 2 different sets of rules, aren't they?
Yeah.
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 You're right. They do tread lightly with
Yeah.
the dragons. The dragons are pretty evil to them
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
Deborah
that's-
Meaden, I think your recycling ideas are misguided. I'm
Yeah.
going with Peter.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah. What are your plastic bottles made out of? Well, Well,
Plastic.
plastic. I'm not investing in you. You do realise you've mixed two kinds of plastic. She does all that, doesn't she?
Yeah. She's very environmentally friendly, apparently. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, just put it in a recycling bin and then we'll ship it to India and they can put it in landfill in India. Recycling.
I'm tempted. We should go on there with this show.
Yeah,
we got an
should.
idea.
Yeah.
We're going to do a podcast
Yeah.
and make millions.
Yeah.
You should invest now.
Yeah, and I'll refer to them as Peter Tall Trousers and Deborah Dickhead.
Oh, I'd love that. Maybe we should apply. Yeah. That could be very funny.
Yeah.
Rightio. Let's get away from that. Audio.
Yeah.
What have you been putting in your ears in the last week, Dan?
We took a Tiny Desk. There's a new Tiny Desk out of a group. They're from Buenos Aires.
Ah.
And they're called, I had to look this up, and I'm still going to, they're called Catriel or Casriel and Paco Amoroso.
Easy for you to say.
So they did this Tiny Desk performance with like a jazzy funk band, horn section, backing singers, and it was like, whoa, you know, and again, found it on Insta, went and watched the whole thing. Really, really good. Just so natural, you know.
Yep.
Again, went onto iTunes, listened to the album. It's like overproduced Europop.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I was like... So, that's what I've been listening to, but only really the Tiny Desk.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier. Tiny Desk is very cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
well,
the-
you
Well, it's just something I noticed about it. The guy that runs it is still running it himself. He doesn't let anyone take over. And like the whole ethos at the beginning was, this is my thing, my way. And for those of you that don't know about audio, there's a kind of mic that you use generally for recording audio when you're filming. Not this kind of mic. It's called a shotgun mic. It's a long, skinny mic, and it's very directional. And you generally use it for recording dialogue when you're talking into a camera or something like that. And he uses it on vocals, on the drums, on guitars, on everything. Just shotgun mics everywhere. Which, as sound engineers, that's a weird thing to do.
unless you talk about it and then you think, actually, that's quite clever.
Yeah, but it sounds fantastic.
It does, yeah.
It's a very focused sort of audio way. It's a very clever thing, and everyone always comments on how good those things sound. So it's interesting. But yeah, every big star wants to do that.
Yeah.
It's like there's probably a queue now.
Well, these guys must be big, I guess, to get on there. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'd never heard of them. And none of it's in English. It's all in.
Wow. Well, they must be doing really well because it's like U2 have done it, Coldplay have done it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's done it.
Yeah.
It's a really big deal now.
They're good. I mean, they're really good. So yeah, I'd recommend going and having a look.
Okay.
It says 7. The reason it's hard to say is it's got bloody 7 in it.
What?
You can't see that.
No, I can't see it. Why is there a 7 in it?
Because it's instead of a T, I think. Catriel
right, okay.
and Paco Amoroso.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's 2 dudes.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, album of the year.
According to who?
2024. According to
Somebody.
their album, Bano Mario, brings together a digital underground sound with the glitched out trap production of raw and irreverent energy that drags you in. Maybe it's not mass produced Europop.
Oops. Never mind, Dad. No one will pull you up on that. Mass produced Europop.
Yeah.
Love it. That might show up as a review to them. Someone's called us mass produced Europop.
Their album of the
We're
year.
fusing trap with traditional music, I'll have you know.
Still sounds like. Anyway.
Oh, genius.
Yeah. It
Right.
still sounds like Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny.
Oh, Jesus.
It
That's
doesn't.
not good.
It doesn't sound anything like that.
I've been doing another audio book. I've gone down the rabbit hole now after doing The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I finished that, and it came up as a suggested next thing, so I thought I'll give it a listen. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I'm down another rabbit hole. I'm loving it. And basically, it's all about making very small, regular changes in order to achieve big goals. And some of his examples early on are like, let's say you live in a messy house and you wish you lived in a tidy house. You've got 2 options. You, when it is messy, tidy it up, and then you have a tidy house. But it will get messy again. And so there's that. Or every day you do a little bit of tidying when you've made a mess. Therefore, you always live in a tidy house. So those little things you do every day give you your result constantly, rather than having to make a big effort. So it's kind of applying that to anything in life. And he said, when we think of things we want to change about our lives, we often set ourselves goals. It's like, right, I want to earn more money, or I'd like to be able to afford to buy this car. It seems unachievable because it's such a big leap. He says, forget the goal. Think of the system you have to put in place to achieve the goal. If you need to, X amount of money to be able to afford a holiday or a car, whatever, later in the year, how much do you need extra per week or per month? Just focus on that. Just what do I have to actually do in order for that to happen? Focus on the little thing.
See, I did something similar. I stopped having sugar in my tea.
Yep.
And the outcome of that was I've never really enjoyed a cup of tea ever again. Is that the sort of thing?
I don't think that's what he's going for. But however, if you wanted to lose weight, for instance,
Oh, no.
and you thought, do you know what, I'll just stop having sugar in my tea,
Yeah.
you might get there slowly.
Yeah.
It's
It didn't work. And no, I'm not pregnant.
Someone did say that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
yeah, that's a bit cruel, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 It was an unfortunate camera angle.
What do they say? The camera adds £10. Well, how many cameras have you got on you?
Only the one, unfortunately. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things happen.
They do. They do. So you're getting into your self-help books then?
Well, the weird thing is that I've never been a big fan of the self-help thing. However, I've read a few books and now started listening to some on audiobooks, which I just like. I've sort of dropped the arrogance of thinking I know everything about everything. That, I do generally think I know everything about
have
everything.
you? I hadn't noticed.
But these kind of things, I'm like, do you know what? If someone could give me some ideas about how I can function a bit better every day, I'm all right with that.
A different perspective.
Yeah, different perspective. Well, I do think the subtle art of not giving a fuck, although I've never been perceived by other people as someone that has to deal with too much stress, I do. I'm just good at it, and I hide it. Whereas the same with this, like if there's little habits I can get into or little habits I can stop that put me in a better place, it's much like building a YouTube channel. When we started our other channel, we didn't really know what we were doing, but what we did do, and I think we both deserve a pat on the back, is we were consistent. For 3 years, we have turned up and just kept going, no matter what. And that habit means we now have a decent sized YouTube channel. And this new one, we're going to do the same.
Yeah.
We just keep going because that little thing we do every week, filming one of these every
Collective
week.
groan from both the audience members.
But it's a very good example,
I
isn't
see your
it?
point, yeah.
Is that we're just going to chip away.
Yeah.
And we know that in time it will turn into a platform that is useful.
Yeah.
And is, other people say, it's already happened with the other channel. But how'd you do that? How'd you get an audience? It's like consistency.
Just got to crack on with
Just
it.
get on with it.
Yeah.
Be consistent. Little things turn into big things if you just keep going.
The subtle art thing, the sort of main consensus there was pick your battles, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's a good philosophy generally in life, isn't it? It's like some things are just not worth getting involved with. Other times, you can do. Realistically, this channel and the other channel takes us one day every other week. Plus, I do one day every week on top of that with the editing. It's not loads. It's not insignificant, but it's not loads.
No.
And what it gives us is quite significant.
Is
it's well. I don't know.
No.
We enjoy it.
Yeah. Buys us lunch.
It buys us lunch, yeah. But it's something that isn't a massive commitment. However, it does end up being something
Worthwhile.
yeah. And it's, you can't do that overnight.
No.
And it's like building a career or anything you want to take on that's big. You got to do the small steps. Learning to play an instrument. How many people think, I'd love to be able to play guitar. I'd love to be able to play the piano.
Never
But
try.
they can't be asked to put in the 10,000 hours. Any job, any trade, you've got to put in the hours.
Yeah.
And it's hard work.
It is, yeah.
You want a six-pack, you got to go to the gym.
It's rubbish being crap at stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rubbish having your guts hurt after going to the gym for 6 weeks before your six-pack starts to show.
Yep. All of that stuff. All of the small steps on the way to somewhere where you don't see any change.
Again, a battle I've not...
Not a battle we've chosen to fight.
No.
Pick your battle.
Yeah,
Not that
one. Yeah. Too right.
True enough. Yeah. Anyway, I think we have done our TV. We have done our audio. Oh, one other audio thing, which this is an interesting one. I thought I was listening to LBC as I do the other day, and they were doing a phone-in about the cost of living and blah blah blah. And a guy phoned up who, him and his wife were living in a flat, and they have 5 kids. And he was saying it's not fair. I work. My wife stays at home with the 5 kids. We can't afford it. We can't afford to live. What are your thoughts?
Buy condoms.
I mean, it's almost like thinking from the 70s, isn't it? You can't. I don't know where I heard it. It might have been on the same show, but someone said that if you watch The Simpsons now, it's almost aspirational because they live in a detached house. The dad works, the mum doesn't. They have 3 kids, nice
2
house and a
cars,
car. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, that's not possible on one income anymore.
No.
It's maybe doable on 2 if you work hard. You'll get there at some point later in life. It's not possible. They're supposed to be in their 30s. So it's just not doable.
No.
And it's like, realistically, if you're going to have 5 kids and only one of you is going to be working, that's just not going to fly.
The other thing I've discovered recently is the difficulty that single mothers have when you've got a couple of kids and the amount of whether it's worth working or not. I mean, you're on the breadline either way. If your kids are school age, go primary school, you've got to do preschool, post-school wraparounds, they call it. I've recently learned.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wraps around childcare that wraps around the school. The difficulty of not earning enough money on the minimum wage. If you work full time, you may as well not work at all and take benefits because you get free childcare and you earn the same amount of money. And it makes people single mums, aspirational single mums. It leaves them with a difficult decision to make.
Yeah, of
because
course.
do you go back and? I mean, I'm talking primary school teachers and you know, what have you, people with proper jobs.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you go back and?
That's really tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is tricky because there's always going to be the argument, oh, benefits shouldn't put you in that kind of comfortable place that you want to stay there. But at the same time, they've got to pay you enough to live because you clearly, if you're a single mum, can't be going to work.
And you don't want to sit around all day, do you? You know.
No. That's a very difficult one to deal with, isn't it?
It is.
Who was that's just looked at one of our reels?
Barry Garlow.
Gary Barlow, who got a right slapping down from Dan in 2 episodes now, I believe.
I didn't get slap him down. I just said he annoys me and I don't like looking at him.
And he's now been looking at our reels. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I love the world sometimes. When Gary Barlow shows up.
Maybe he likes plugins.
It's actually his official account.
It's his official account.
It might not be him looking at it.
No, it might not.
It might be his manager
definitely
agent
is,
or
though.
something. Gary Barlow looking at Dan. Talking
Yeah.
about him.
I know.
I sort of like that.
Yeah, it says, he has sent us a message. It says, Dan, get in the bin.
Dan, get in the bin. There you go. Yeah. Well, Gary, if you're watching, come on the show, mate. We should have a chat. Let's
Gary
lay this
Barlow.
to rest.
The official page for Gary Barlow. All others are fake.
Wow. You just never know who's watching these things. Do you?
You can see you can see the people that I know that are following him. Never talking to them again. Diffie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a good time to end.
It does.
On a high note.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you can watch us. You can watch little clips on Instagram or TikTok. You can now watch this or listen to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and I think Amazon Podcasts and maybe a couple of others. It's all over the place, Dan.
Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that usual guff.
Do all that stuff, and we will see you in episode 7. Adios.